North Solomons was known for movements to break away from Australian control in the 1960s and early 70s. These came to a head in disputes over land for the Panguna mine and the harbour at Loloho. People wanted a share in the profits of the mine, and a compromise deal enabled the project to go ahead. Between 1972 and 1999, the Panguna mine contributed close to 1 billion kina in taxes and dividends to the national government. However, Panguna landowners remained unhappy about environmental disruptions and their relative small share of benefits. In monetary terms, this added up to 23 million kina.
Before reaching the final layers of overburden, they cleared 550 acres of jungle and sluiced away the unconsolidated volcanic rock and ash. Now with this first load of ore...
Panguna mine signaled Papua New Guinea's resource boom, with Bougainville copper going into full swing in 1972, accounting for 20% of Papua New Guinea's total revenue. Panguna landowners were immediate beneficiaries in terms of material and financial gains. The people and the government of the province also shared in the blessing. First television pictures to come out of Bougainville in 1988 showed the sad tale of a peaceful land suddenly engulfed in flames and smoke, and a state of emergency which gave the national government wide powers to put down the unrest triggered by a spate of bitter action by the Panguna landowners against the government. They were in direct retaliation to inaction by the national government for better protection of the environment against the spills of the mine, huge back payments of profits from the mine, and a massive 10 billion kina compensation demand. Seen as deliberate acts of sabotaging mine operations and the economy, the government of then Prime Minister Rabin Amaliu sent in security forces to guard mine installations. Joseph Kabui was Premier of North Solomons at the time. He soon realized he was caught between two forces, the lawful authority of the government and the increasing resentment and jungle authority of the BRA. From the start of the conflict, the man who rose to the top command of the Panguna landowner struggle, Francis Ona, never reappeared again in public after he quit the employ of the Bougainville Copper Limited, first as an engineer, then as operator of the 70-ton dump truck. The other man who became the leading military figure in the struggle was Sam Kawana. With distinguished Australian military training and a growing sympathy for his people, he quit the PNG Defence Force and disappeared into the hills. He assembled an illegal military outfit and called it the Bougainville Revolutionary Army, the BRA. He masterminded the downing of the power pylons. He single-handedly took on the might of the security forces with the keen following and support of the young people. For obvious reasons such as inferior weapons and the lack of logistical support, Kawana ruled out open warfare. He led the troops to face him and his army in their own backyard, in the jungles. In the hope of winning political support, the government withdrew the security forces in May 1989. When communication between Waigani and Panguna failed to find a peaceful solution, the government imposed a total economic blockade around Bougainville. In August 1990, security forces returned to Bougainville. In January the following year, founding Prime Minister Sir Michael Somare led a delegation from Port Moresby onto the waters of Kieta aboard the New Zealand naval ship Endeavour. Joseph Kabui led the team from the BRA and the political arm, the Bougainville Interim Government. That meeting at the Endeavour Accord. Pius Wingti was installed as Prime Minister after the 1992 elections on a platform of solving Bougainville. His solution was simply to send back troops onto Bougainville and restore government control, as well demanded the unconditional surrender of the BRA. Sir Julius Chan went to the Honiara peace talks in 1994, 3 days after he was voted as Prime Minister. The BRA commander Sam Kawana and his wife Josie made it to Honiara dodging security forces through swamps and unfriendly territory. The Honiara Accord was signed at that meeting. Under Sir Julius, Papua New Guinea took the biggest step, the engagement of a Pacific peacekeeping force in Arawa to secure a neutral ground for the government and the people to come together. But the leadership of the BRA did not come to the party. The BRA and the political arm stuck to their extreme agenda for political independence for Bougainville. Over the long struggle, the BRA was able to improve its inventory of military hardware, taking from fallen security force members and uncanny resistance fighters walking away with weapons from their unsuspecting soldiers. Behind the BRA lines, young men learned quickly the art of jungle warfare, the homemade guns and traditional fighting weapons, now replaced with factory-made hardware. In September 1996, 11 members of the security forces were killed in a BRA ambush at Congo Beach in South Bougainville. 5 were taken alive. In that incident alone, the BRA helped themselves to 36 military weapons, which they boldly displayed during the first peace mission to Lagwai near Buin in December 1996. Sir Michael led the delegation of parliamentarians. They pleaded for the safe release of the captives. The team returned in mid-January 1997 with the inclusion of a government minister at the time, Peter Bata, and this time security force representatives, a meeting which laid concrete foundations for the Burnham talks in New Zealand. Shortly after Burnham won, the happy ending for the 5 prisoners released at Moila Beach to the New Zealand warship Canterbury. Initially, the military was deployed to provide reinforcement to the civil power, the police, to restore peace and normalcy.